Stop using boundaries, guys. What does it mean to be safe in a marriage? We both know that's not true because I believe sex is the checkered flag. I'm Cass.
I'm Kathryn.
How to reconnect after separation. Welcome to the MorrowMarriage podcast. We are going to get into insecurity. I noticed on our downloads, this is a heavy download. A couple of the podcasts, anything that's about insecurity. And Kathryn and I have a little bit of conflicting opinions on this, so let's get into it. Leave a super awesome review. Send us an email with what you want us to cover. DM us, DM me, Cass Foster Morrow on Instagram. We'll address what you're going through.
We're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage. Stop using boundaries, guys. Welcome to the MorrowMarriage podcast, guys. Today, we're going to dive into this because we've been alluding to boundaries on a few different episodes for the last, I feel like the last 6 weeks. Yeah, but we haven't done an actual episode on boundaries for a while, so I really want to talk about this today. One of the reasons that this is coming up is because I have a brand new man. He did not the free reset. He wanted more. He wanted way more connection with me and with one of the other mentors. And so he's using the whole program. By the way, if you didn't know, you can get the marriage reset for free. And Kathryn has matched that with the white picket fence for women because we've learned that the success stories, the rapid results come from the people who go on the group calls, from the people who use the support from me, from Kathryn, from the mentors, and actually the other people in the community. When they join it, you start to see you're not the only one going through this, and other people know how to use the tools better than you. They're going through the struggles with you, and it just works. So that's what we decided to do. I don't know if we'll do that forever, but we definitely thought about it because Disrupting Divorce, the new man, is saving struggling, sexless, and toxic marriages, releases September 16th. So get your copy. All right. Now, stop using boundaries. This new man that came into the program, okay?
I think I met him yesterday.
Very, very nice man. And he's like 7 years into his growth journey. I was so impressed with this man that I was
the
Canadian guy. I was
I
want to work with this man. Actually, I bought a car. That old Nova came from the town he lives in. Yeah, it was about 8 hours away from where we lived or whatever. But this man is a great, great man. You could tell he's done a lot of work. I'm cleaning him up quickly because he just didn't know how to put the pieces together.
He's absorbing so fast.
He's fast. I had to, actually, if you don't know this, our programs are slowed down by you get a little bit at a time so you can learn and manage the skills and then get to the next part. I was like, dude, let me know if I need to open this up. Sure enough, in 2 days, we open it up and he's almost done and he's reflecting so well. But here's the thing. So if you go back a couple episodes, we talked about narcissism. He has a wife he thinks has BPD. And I think
borderline personality disorder.
That's right. And I think it's narcissism. I don't know yet. Don't know.
They're similar. I thought you had BPD.
That's right. Yeah. And so where this comes in is he's already going through my program so fast, and he's done so much work, so many books, so many podcasts. I don't think any other courses yet. Very, very intelligent man. He's got his life put together almost entirely like the way I would teach a man to become, but he was missing components. For example, very defensive, so you're not protecting your wife, right? I won't talk about his personal struggles, but some of the things that he believed he didn't do wrong. Well, I'll just summarize it like this. Remember the show Friends? We were on a break, right? Ross and Rachel.
So funny.
Okay. Perception. Okay.
Right.
And so I'm cleaning this guy up so fast, but he's got this wife who's going to her family who all supports he's a bad man because of whatever it is that she's telling him. And maybe it was that we were on a break thing. Okay. Who knows? Boundaries don't work if somebody's texting you, you're an asshole. If somebody's left your house, if somebody is having an affair, if somebody is screaming at you, if somebody is literally telling you you're an asshole, if somebody is throwing things at you, if there is no respect, what in the fuck? Why do you think boundaries will work? How can you guys still be thinking this way? Stop listening to everybody around you. Do you want to have anything to add, or do you want me to?
I have like a whole thing I'd like to say.
Okay, please.
I want to go. Can I go through the inspired lead, ask and motivate?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel really passionate about this because I say to my clients and the men, so I coach the men and I coach the women and I coached this guy.
So this is something
yesterday.
I created this and Kathryn took it to the next level. So
right. So we have a 4-part system and it's inspire, lead, ask, and motivate. Have you ever heard me go through my spiel?
I don't think I have.
Okay, I'm going to put my coffee down because this is so exciting. So these are the stages you need to get to before you get to the last stage. So inspire is when you start changing your life. So if I was working with a woman, I'd say, okay, so let's say you're 20 pounds overweight, which is fine unless you want to lose that weight and you're feeling uncomfortable. And then you're going to feel better about yourself if you lose the weight, 100 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is. And you're yelling at your kids. you're swearing at your husband, you're lazy, you don't eat healthy. There's all these things that you've given up on life. Your marriage sucks. You've given up on your relationship with your kids. You just are like in this state. You're a shell of a woman. The inspire stage is when you say, okay, what can I do? Here's what I'm going to do. Maybe you're not ready to go to the gym yet. You say, I'm going to walk and see my beautiful dog here. Will you see his cone? He's a cone head right now. I'm going to walk my dog. I'm going to replace, breakfast cereal with something a little healthier, maybe some protein. I'm not going to order out. I'm going to make some dinners. I'm going to try to be more gentle with my kids. I'm going to commit to not swearing at my husband. I'm listing off a bunch of things because what happens is when you want to be an inspiration to someone else, specifically your spouse, you need to change a lot of things. You need to stack change upon change upon change, because what's going to happen is your spouse is going to say, who is this new woman? I'm going to speak from the woman's perspective right now, but if you're a man, you can flip it. If your partner, if your husband is not noticing, what you need to do is you need to look around to see, because other people, the women that you normally hang out with, are going to see that you're being more gentle with your kids. They're going to notice that you've lost a few pounds and that you're feeling more confident. You're going to have, your dog is even going to look at you differently because you're walking him every day. You're doing all these things to make yourself into someone that you lost. You want to be a better version of yourself. So the inspire stage is when you start to do things that are going to inspire the people around you. The second stage.
Hold up, please. So inspire, I just summarize it much more simple for my guys. You can't lead if you can't lead yourself, which means you have to learn skills. So that's the simple stage for me for inspire. It's when you're learning, you're going through the marriage reset or disrupting divorce when it comes out.
Or the White Picket Fence Project.
Or the White Picket Fence Project, and you're learning the skills we're teaching you. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yep. So then you're an inspiration. The other word I would use is influence. The I is inspire or influence. The second one is lead. It's very important to recognize you're not a leader if no one is following you.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah.
Okay. So that does not mean that if your partner isn't following you, that you're not a leader. So when you know that you've gotten to the second stage, the inspire stage and the lead stage are exactly the same. You are the exact same person, only people around you are starting to follow you.
Correction, though, I would say you have to have gone through and learned all the skills, right? You can't just be, you might be able to lead in one area. Say neither of you worked out and now you're working out like you brought up. Well, now you're leading in that area potentially. Okay. By example, doesn't make you a leader yet.
If someone's following you, it does. We'll split hairs on this.
At this point, nobody's following us. If your spouse isn't working out and you're working out.
But exactly. So now people are doing what you're doing. So the first one is inspire, people take notice. Second thing is that you're leading when they follow you. And you can be a leader, like he said, in different areas. So if you start getting healthier, your husband, let's say you've lost 10 pounds, your husband's going to say, oh, she looks confident. She feels good. Oh, and go look down at my belly. Maybe I need to go work out. Maybe I need to eat a salad or two. Maybe I need to eat more protein, whatever it is. If your husband doesn't follow you, you look around. Do the moms start, do they want to go for walks instead of sit around and drink wine? Do they start bringing their dogs on play dates and you guys are going for walks? Do they stop yelling at their kids? When they start to parallel and mirror what you are doing, that means they're following you. You are now a leader. So if your husband's not following you, that's okay. You still might be doing it right. If you're married to someone that's really difficult, husband, wife, whatever, you might need to look outside of your circle. Okay. So the third stage.
Hold up.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we created that program, Morrow Momentum. If you don't know about it, download the Morrow app, our last name, all capitals, 2 R's facing each other. Okay. There's a free program in there called Momentum. One of the things that we noticed that was missing from any program that we'd taken, plus even our own programs, well, actually, I noticed it and built it, but was that you can fill your own cup leading others while your partner isn't following, okay? So you learn all these skills in the inspire stage, then you have all these skills and you continue to be consistent on the track. You're a big bad race car, okay? Driving around the track over and over. Now showing people in your life, social media is the easiest way and so many reasons why you have to do it, okay? But, and the right way, by the way, but now you are leading others. Like she said, if your husband might not make any changes yet, or your wife might not make any changes yet, but
you can still be a leader by leading other people.
I can't tell you how many people fill their cup because somebody thanked them for, hey, I saw that you weren't watching porn anymore. Like, holy crap. Like,
I'm so inspired. I decided not to watch porn today.
Right. And we can go on and on and on with examples. So I'm not going to do that today. Go watch Momentum for free on the app. Okay. And then
the third stage is ask or invite. So this is really important because the ask stage and the invite stage is a clear differentiation from the first two. Because remember, inspire is the same as lead. You're doing the exact same thing, only lead means people start following you. There's a line here when you start to ask. So there's two reasons I would say, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this. There's two reasons you ask. Number one is your partner has started to follow you. So you're a leader, not only in your life, but you're a leader in your home. Whether you're a man or woman, if you're watching this, you're going to be the one that's responsible for doing this. You start asking. So let's say you start making some changes. They naturally start to follow you. You're now a leader and you ask for more. That's the first way that you ask. The second way that you ask is that your partner has not started to follow you. And so you start to make asks. This is what an ask looks like. There's two ways that you can ask also. So there's the two reasons. He started to follow you and you want more, or he hasn't started to follow you and you need to make it more clear to him.
And vice versa, guys.
Exactly. So the first way to ask is just to say, hey, I would like you to start eating healthier. Simple. Okay. And I'm using that as an example because I talked about losing 20 pounds. I started about walking your dog, maybe working out and making changes to your lifestyle to be healthier.
Because this could be for so many things. You're not defensive. You're not yelling anymore. You're not shutting down. You're engaged. You're patient with the conversation. You have lots of empathy and you ask.
So I'm just going to simplify it with some of the changes you're making. You know that other people are following you. Maybe your partner is following you. And then you say, I would like you to do X, Y, Z. It's a clear ask. This is what I would like you to do.
And notice she said clear, and notice how clear it was. She didn't go on and on and on. She didn't start belittling.
Because you've already inspired and you're already leading. So you're already a role model. You say, this is what I would like from you.
And the best way to consider this, guys, is start to realize it has something to do with your dreams, your goals, and what you see for your life. She's using health as an example. That's a you problem. Okay. That's a you goal. Okay.
A you problem.
But what I mean is that your partner that might be why they didn't follow. They don't care, at least at this stage. Okay. So that's why we're asking, because you envision a marriage where we're both healthy and, I don't know, climbing mountains.
Yeah, don't make assumptions that your partner wants the same things that you want. That's why he or she may not be following you in your leader stage right now. So then we ask them to follow us.
That's right. This is sort of what happened with Kathryn with animals, right? So she starts asking if she can have some because she knows I didn't really like it. I didn't really want so many animals everywhere. Okay. But it's important in her vision. She sees chickens right next to the pool, which she has now.
That's right. That's
so
right. I love that.
She started asking. Okay.
I love that. I love that. So back to the health thing. So I would like it if you would start eating healthier. I would like it, be specific though. I would like it if you could order takeout only twice a week. I would like it if, can you do this? So that's the first thing. The second way that you make an ask, it's a 3-part system. You tell them how you feel, you tell them the situation, and you tell them what they need, expressing positive need. I feel dismissed when you order takeout and I'm eating healthy. And I need you to not order takeout on the days that I've committed to eating healthy. Okay, so there's 2 things. The first way is just saying, I need you to eat healthy, that I need you to not order takeout. The second one is 3 parts. I feel emotion when behavior or situation, and I need positive need. This is what I need you to do. I gave a negative need. I need you to not order takeout. We'll get it. That's it. That's all in my course. Forget about the negative need versus positive need.
It's a longer lesson.
Yeah. So you tell them what you need. My advice is expect your partner to fail. Why? Because when you get to the ask stage, you're asking for things that haven't been done when you've been inspiring and leading. So I'm going to give an example. This is not a real example, but everybody loves this example. So the ask stage is when you ask for what you want. So, honey, we're bad for being on our phones. Let's pretend that this isn't a real example, but it could be. Honey, we're going to have family movie night. Friday night at 6:00, we're going to watch a family movie. I need you to put your phone down. Mm-hmm. And he says, okay, sure. I'll put my phone down. No problem. Because it's habit, partway through the movie, he picks up his phone, he checks his messages. I see him, I don't say anything. I get a little bit frustrated. He puts his phone down. I don't say anything, puts his phone down. The next Friday I say, hey, honey, we want to have family movie night. We want you involved. I just need you to just not even pick it up to even check a text message. And he says, okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. So we're watching our movie. He gets up to go to the bathroom. He checks his phone. I'm frustrated again at this point. The 3rd time that it happens, and you're the only one that can decide how many times you let them fail, but expect them to fail. When you make the ask, do not assume that they're going to give you what you need the first time. They need to break habits. They need to be on the same page as you. You need to have core values conversations. Another bigger lesson.
You had to learn the new skills. You had to learn to get people to follow you. You had to learn to encourage them. And so now you need to have patience.
That's right. You need to have patience. So on the third night, or maybe it's the fifth night, maybe it's the 10th night, I say, okay, honey, I feel frustrated. So remember the three-part system? I feel frustrated when I ask you to put your phone down. It's the second piece. I feel emotion, frustrated when I ask you to put your phone down and you pick it up. That's the situation. And I need you to not pick it up tonight. I need you to be focused on the movie. Okay, honey, no problem. He still doesn't do it. Night 4 rolls around. This is where you get to number 4. So we had inspire, lead, ask, or invite. So I just asked him to join me on this.
And before you go to motivate with boundaries.
Okay.
Okay. So I also like, you remember there was 2 ways to go with the ask or the invite. I like to use a little curiosity. Hey, baby, what do you think about, putting our phones away at 5:30 every single day together? That would be more of a real example for us, right? And so, I actually would go a little bit further when she's on the phone. I wouldn't wait till the next, day at 5:30. I would actually say, hey, babe, what you looking at? And I'm smiling. This just happened to us the other day, actually. And you were like, oh, yeah, nothing.
Oh, nothing. You're just putting my phone down.
But you see, there's nothing but love, patience, and empathy there. Okay.
Right.
So I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. So, and that's brilliant. I love that. So the ask stage can look a few different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the motivate stage, this is what I want to be really clear about. The motivate stage is motivate with boundaries, and it's the exact same thing as the ask stage. So remember the example I gave with the movie.
Hold up. I would like to clarify, please, the motivate with boundaries. Remember I said stop using boundaries? Okay. Kathryn, you loved this. Hey, baby. When I said motivate with boundaries, she was like, tell me more. I love the sound of that. And that's why you took this even further.
And by this point, you're at the ask stage. So you're inspiring, you're leading, you're asking, you're breeding connection because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, how do you feel about putting our phones down at 5:30 every day? Hey, what are you looking at? You're building connection and you're trying to breed connection, because when you're connected, you can have any conversation you want.
Mm-hmm.
So the last stage is motivate with boundaries. So remember, I gave him 3 chances to put his phone down on Friday night. He's like, this didn't actually happen, but it could be really real. But so on the last one, I say, okay, honey, I've noticed, I've asked, I've let you know that I'm frustrated. I really need you to put your phone down for family movie night and not pick it up again, because I'm feeling really dismissed. If you do it, then tonight, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take the kids, I'm going to put them in the car, and I'm going to take them to McDonald's Playland. So the motivate with boundaries is the same ask. You're asking for the exact same thing. This is really important. You ask for the same thing multiple times. He's not doing it. She's not doing. Then you implement a consequence. The ask and the boundary are the exact same thing, only now you motivate them with the consequence. He says, oh my goodness, honey, when you're connected. This is why you go through these 3 stages before you get to the boundary, because now you're connected. He understands how you feel, and he understands how important it is, and he cares about your feelings and about the situation. He says, oh my goodness, honey, I cannot believe it's that important to you. I can't believe that I did that.
You start to take responsibility. I can't believe
and
that
you say,
I've been picking up.
I'm so sorry. And then he knows that if he does, I'm going to leave with the children.
Now this is,
and hold on, in an ideal world, he doesn't do it because now there's a consequence. And the consequence, this is why it's called motivate. The consequence hurts his heart. He says, I have hurt my wife and my kids. They're now at McDonald's without me. And he also hurts because he knows that he hurt us. He now has to suffer the consequence of staying at home by himself. He can get on his phone all he wants, but he probably doesn't want to get on his phone. He's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only have a consequence with the ask when you're connected. Otherwise, if I would have come in guns blazing, so let's say in this theoretical example, I didn't lose any weight. I didn't take the dog for walks. I didn't start eating healthy. I didn't get off my phone. I didn't stop yelling at the kids. I didn't do any of that. I just came in as my imperfect self and said, hey, get off your phone on Friday nights. We're watching family movie night. He'd be like, go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, guys, you have to understand. I want to use a different example because it's very common for a man to go through the whole program and his wife still isn't there yet with sex. And they're afraid of a sexless marriage. Okay. Wife at this stage is typically like, all you care about is sex, because she hasn't really done the work yet. Right. So I have to encourage them to think about what I call the patience formula. We'll talk about it another day. How much more patient do you need to be? Shouldn't you be asking a little bit more? Because you need to be damn sure you're proud of who you are, because it's not about how many people are following you. Actually, it's about, that's just a clear indication of the journey that's going well.
That you're in the lead stage.
That you're in the lead stage. But it's all really about who you are. And I'm going to tie this back before I talk about sex is this. If you think about it, she takes the kids to McDonald's and I start coming at her like freaking out, blah, blah, blah. Go back to what we said in the start of the episode. Stop using boundaries. You're not even ready for a boundary. If that's the level of respect you get, the disrespect, I should say, that you get, then you weren't even ready for that. In which case, you're motivating with a boundary. They're yelling, you're leaving a McDonald's, and you have to start looking at other boundaries. You're looking at the wrong one.
Because you're disconnected. If you guys are still yelling when a boundary comes into place, that boundary is not going.
Or attacking or whatever. If you're planning to give a boundary, motivate with a boundary, and then you start blaming and judging and whatever, like see how simple it was to lay it down? If you, and so this is why I want to bring this up, because men think they do all this work. And then they want to go back to what I call safe reacting. E is enforced boundaries. I don't actually want to leave her. I just want her to want to have sex again. And they'll be ready to like lay down the boundary. When we don't have sex, if we don't have sex anymore, then, and they insert consequence, I'm going to leave, let's say. Okay. Well, guess what? She didn't care. She wasn't there yet. Right. And all you're doing is saying, I just need you to just lay there for me. And so you have to start to really analyze what you're using a boundary for. I understand leaving if you still have a sexless marriage. I get that. But that's why we check and check and check your assessment, your scorecard with other men, talking about how proud they are of themselves. Where have they made mistakes? Oh, you did respond, but now you are actually defending yourself when you start that response. Then what the fuck are you doing, man? You're not even through the steps and the initial steps. You're still basically putting yourself back in the inspire where you're learning. Okay, that's how passionate I feel about this.
Yeah, I think that was great.
Thank you. All right, guys. Long one. Thanks for your time. See you next time.
Bye.